The first show that I watched of 2025 was What If Season 3. And so here are three things that I did not like about Season 3 of What If. Sadly, I didn't enjoy this season, but I must say that there are three things that I think about constantly when I was trying to process the show. And we're going to start off with number one being that this season was shorter. Now, it's only shorter by one episode, but that shortness compounds in my mind because it leads me from that point, like number one, it's shorter, into number two, which is we didn't get as much time with certain characters as I personally wanted. Now, we can go on to this for quite a while, but remember, everything I'm saying is my personal feelings and opinions and the things that I kept coming back to as I was processing the show. So we'll look at season two. Season two, we had multiple appearances from the Coordi character. We got to see her origins and we got to see her reappear and be a part of the story that they were telling about this particular watcher. In season three, we don't really have that show up. Like with the Birdie character, that's one in particular that I would have liked to know a bit more about. Like, yes, we got her origin of her parents meeting in the Thor episode from last season. We also got like the story of her special birth, and it was a funny comedic episode, and it was really cool to see things play out the way they played out. I had fun with that episode. But then you get to the last two of this season and she shows up and she's a powerhouse and she's experienced working with these people already. And I just don't like the fact that we don't know how she came to be so powerful and exactly what were her accolades that led her to meeting these people and being a part of this crew and building a relationship with the Watcher where she's willing to risk her ship and risk her life to help him. And I feel like we got there too fast with her. Not only her, but still on point number two of like getting everything we wanted from the characters. I think about Storm. Like in the trailers for this season, we saw Storm wielding Mjolnir. Like, yo, that's huge. Like comic book wise, I want to know all about that character. And we got nothing about that character. That would have been a great moment to like give us a dual episode of like Birdie and Storm and what they went through to be who they were and show up and help the Watcher in this way. And we just didn't get that. I wanted to know about Storm's relationship with Odin. I wanted to know how did she come into possession of Mjolnir. Like all that stuff was stuff I wanted to see, and we just didn't get any of it. We got a lot of stories that did not feel as connected to that ending. So that's gripe number two. Gripe number three for me is the inconsequential ending that we got. And so we have this massive fight in a really cool episode in this final episode, but at the end there's no real resolution. Like the idea of them dispatching those watchers who are trying to dispatch Oatu, it's like we're not gonna do away with them. Like they just came around because they saw the sacrifice of Peggy or whatever, and it's like I just don't see that as being effective. Like I wanted to see these people get dispatched, get rid of them, and we didn't get rid of them. Like they just kind of came around. If we were going to use reason to reach the point that we reached, why we just didn't use reason instead of giving us such a glorious fight with a stalemate as the outcome. I didn't like that. I also, just another random point, I didn't like the amount of Peggy Carter that we got. Like I could really do without as much Peggy as we got, but we got quite a bit of her, especially towards the end, and you know all the feelings and the emotions. And I guess this is just as much her story as it is Oatu, but I wanted to know about some other people instead of Peggy, and they spent time with Peggy that they could have spent with Birdie or with Storm. They also didn't really land the bird in the way that I wanted to with that ending. Like having those two watchers fight so valiantly, two or three, fight so valiantly, and then just lose. And now we in Stranger's universe and we got to give up. And instead of nixing them boys, they decide, hey, you know, let's do the right thing and help them see the light. It's like I didn't like that. Ultimately, I think What If is a pretty good little series. You know, I like the first two seasons a whole lot. The third season was okay, but I did not like it nearly as much as I liked those first two seasons, and mainly due to the fact that they cut us by one episode, and that episode could have provided so much more backstory on some of the characters that were really, really cool and I was excited about, and we didn't get any of that backstory. We just got, you know, more Peggy in this peaceful hopeful, joyous type resolution. So that's kind of an overall of my thoughts. Let me know if you felt differently. Am I tripping? I don't think I'm tripping. I think, most people would probably look at this and say it was cool, but it wasn't as good as the previous seasons. And that's exactly what I feel. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you choose to do so. Thank you so much if you've watched this far, and that's all we have for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.